What's up, everybody? And this is your boy Retro Rogue. I am back, and happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you're having a good one. I am here today to bring you some more RWBY, World of Remnant. That's right, we are on the final 2 episodes of RWBY, World of Remnant. Words are hard. RWBY, World of Remnant. Say that 3 times fast. I dare you. But last 2 episodes, man, I'm super excited for this. So we're just gonna break right on into it. Episode 15 and 16. Let's get into it, man. RWBY. WR. Here we go. The Sneak Dust. Wait, what? The Sneak Dust.
All right. What was I supposed to talk about next?
Are we learning about the Sneak Dust Company?
Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I've got a few words to say about this one.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Company. Bunch of self-entitled, monopolizing SNOBs who only care about making a profit, no matter how many little people they gotta step on to make it happen. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Crow.
As you all know, survival in the world of Remnant depends almost entirely on a crystallized substance known as dust. It powers our cities, fuels our machines, and gives us a fighting chance against the creatures of Grimm. Which means it's extremely valuable. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to buy dust products without the Schnee Company snowflake stamped on the box. But it didn't always used to be that way. Nicholas Schnee was the son of a dust miner turned soldier. Born just after the Great War, he found himself at the perfect point in history to take full advantage of the world's next industrial revolution. The Kingdom of Mantle, soon to be Atlas, was in a transformative period. They'd found themselves on the forefront of technology, but realized they depleted nearly all of their natural resources to do so. That's where old Nick came in.
Old Saint Nick.
Rather than watch his kingdom become dependent on the aid of others, young Nicholas Schnee decided to spend his days at combat school, his nights working alongside his father in the dwindling Mantle mines, and any time in between learning everything he could about anything he didn't know. That kid had a fire in his belly.
The Schnee was a hard-working dude. The first
died,
Schnee was the
he
G.
left his son everything he had. It wasn't much. Enough for Nick to set his plan into action. He left school, rallied all the men he could afford, and set out on an expedition to find a dust deposit that could revitalize his kingdom. And wouldn't you know, he actually pulled it off. Fast forward just a few years, and the name Schnee suddenly meant something. Quality, affordability, trust.
What happened to
all
his
those
family?
years spent in combat school were so that Nick could personally oversee every new expedition. People appreciate a man who's willing to stick his neck out for them. And it's how the Schnee Dust Company earned the business of every kingdom in Remnant. Unfortunately, it's also what led to an early retirement. Nick had started a family that missed him, and his body was tired. Years of working in dust mines can have some nasty side effects on your health. And so enters Jacques Joulet. Having married into the family, Jacques decided to take the Schnee name over his own. He was a lot of words I shouldn't repeat. Most important, he was a cunning businessman. Jacques managed to convince Nicholas that he was the perfect man to run the SDC in his place. And from a certain point of view, he was right. Under Jacques' leadership, the Schnee Dust Company has become more profitable than ever, completely dominating the industry. But at the cost of the company's soul. Cheap labor, dangerous working conditions, doing whatever it takes to destroy the competition. Jacques Schnee doesn't care about people. He cares about winning. That, and making sure he's got the best damn PR team in the world. The Schnee name still means something today, But as for what it'll mean tomorrow, well, your guess is as good as mine.
Weiss gonna fix that shit. I got faith in her. I got faith in Weiss, man. She gonna fix that shit, dude. Knowing what her grandfather was capable of doing, man. Oh, I have a whole different kind of respect for the Schnee name. Just not Jock. Fuck that guy. But that being said, we're gonna hop right on into the next episode. So yeah, we're gonna get into it right now. This is 16. This is the final one. Let's get into it. The teeth. Well, this is a chunky one. The Great War. Okay, finally. We keep hearing about the Great War. We'll get in on the Great War.
The Great War. What a terrible name for such a horrible time in history. Though the war itself lasted around 10 years, the century leading up to it was filled with so much tension, you might as well lump them together. And most of that tension was coming from Mistral. Territories rich with resources and safe from Grimm have always been in high demand. But the Emperor of Mistral had managed to conquer nearly all that Anima had to offer, thanks in part to an unlikely friend, Mantle. The two kingdoms had formed an alliance. Mistral provided the small kingdom with goods unavailable in the frozen tundra. In return, Mantle introduced technological innovation as well as guidance in the settlement of Anima's cold, northern territory. It was good, until it wasn't. An incident in Mantle led to a strange and unexpected decree: the abolishment of the arts and repression of self-expression.
To get rid of the Grimm.
People of Mantle had come to believe that they would be much safer from the Grimm if they could simply keep the emotions of the masses in check. Given Mistral's strong, artistic culture, many assumed this would be the end of their alliance. But they were wrong. Mistral complied, selectively, enforcing Mantle's wishes only in the outer territories, allowing the centralized powers to continue to live as they pleased.
That's fucked up.
If you haven't caught on yet, Mistral's full of jerks. The people of Vale had a problem with this. Well, they had a problem with a lot of things Mistral and Mantle had been up to. Treatment of their citizens, use of slave labor, and their constant insistence that their way of life was what was best for everyone. Eventually, Mistral made the jump across the sea to the eastern coast of Sanus. The small islands and peninsulas in the area were perfect to establish a settlement. They were so perfect, in fact, that Vale had just begun settling the area themselves. I think we can all guess what happened next. The King of Vale did everything he could to avoid armed conflict. Despite cries from his people, he insisted on sharing the land with the settlers from Mistral. But to this day, no one knows who shot first. But what began as a riot between the two bands of settlers
But I did not shoot that.
suddenly became the first battle of the Great War. Mantle quickly came to Mistral's side.
Of course they
Battles
did.
were fought on both Sanus and Anima soil. Villages were lost to both
Well, that's
combat
not very
and
logical,
Grimm.
is it?
And it wasn't long before Vacuo decided to join the party. Up to this point, Vacuo had done its best to stay out of the fight. Mantle and Mistral, having both already established a small presence in Vacuo territory years before, promised to leave them provided they didn't interfere. Soon, those talks evolved. It went from "don't side with them" to "side with us and you'll be safe." Vacuo did not much care for that. They came to the conclusion that if Vale were to fall, there'd be no one left to stop Mistral and Mantle from conquering them next. So they did what they considered to be the logical thing. They drove Mantle and Mistral out of Vacuo and told Vale had their backs.
Screw them guys, bro. Vacuum.
So the war raged on. Grim attacks increased worldwide. On the battlefield, this meant a temporary ceasefire in order to deal with the hordes of monsters before returning to the fight at hand. Those left miserable back at home, however, were often helpless with their best warriors away fighting the good fight. A lot of settlements were lost during those years, and most were never reclaimed. Rations on food and dust were put into effect. Development of technology accelerated. Humans and faunas who fought alongside one another became closer. And every day, mankind grew more and more efficient at destroying itself.
Of course, you know, because like I said once, I'll say it again, people go to people.
Mistral and Mantle knew that if they could take the dust mines of Vacuo, they would effectively cut off the supply of dust to their enemy. It was to be a final devastating blow to Vale and Vacuo. They were only half right. The King of Vale personally led his army into battle alongside the soldiers of Vacuo and decimated the enemy forces. Crown atop his head and armed only with a sword and his scepter, he laid waste to countless men.
Damn.
As the sand was soaked red with blood, the Grim came in droves. It was the single deadliest battle of the war, and legends of the greatness and terror of the warrior king were born that day. Historians will tell you most of these stories are nothing but grandiose hyperbole. Unusually violent weather conditions, combined with Mantle's unfamiliarity with the desert combat, are likely what led to such a high death count. But whatever the reasoning, everyone bowed to the King of Vale by the time it was over. The Great War had ended. The world was ready to live under the rule of Vale. But the king refused. The leaders of the Four Kingdoms met on the island of Vital, and it was there that they worked together to form a treaty and establish the future of Remnant. Territories were redistributed, slavery was abolished, governments restructured, and the warrior king, the last king Vale would ever have, founded the Huntsman Academies and placed his most trusted followers in command of each kingdom's school. He would teach the world to fight so long as we promised to fight for ourselves and never against ourselves.
Well,
seems like we haven't kept our end of the bargain.
I'm saying. But you know, people go people, man. It's just our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. It's like we just can't help ourselves, man. We just gotta love this show, man. I love that the creators of this show have taken such an interest into the lore that, you know, there's reasons why everybody feels the way they feel in the show, and it's legitimate on all sides. And I'm just ready to hop into season 5 and get going. That being said, hit me up in the comments, guys. What do you think of the video? And if you like the video, please hit the like button, man. And if you like what we're doing on the channel and you haven't done it already, hit the subscribe button. Join the family, join the fun. Help us hit 250. I cannot talk today. Help us hit 250 by August. And yeah, I'm gonna hop off here, man. Remember, it's the Age of the Geek. We rule the world. Along with RWBY. Peace.